Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this very, very exciting unboxing, flip through, walk through, first impressions, whatever, gushing galore, whatever you want to call it, of the gorgeous but rare and out of print and hard to find Tarot of Delphi, created and curated by J.D. Hildegard Hinkle. Oh my goodness. If you missed this in my, I think it was my show and tell at some point. I have no idea when this video is going up. I don't know. I just needed to do this for me. I apologize in advance. This deck is out of print. It's hard to find. I had heard that J.D. Hildegard Hinkle was planning on a reprint of this deck at some point, but I don't know when, I don't know if, I don't have any details, I don't have any information. I'm really, really sorry, but this deck has been on my wish list for a very long time. And I am so excited to have it in my hands, thanks to the generosity of a community member and subscriber who just in an unbelievable act of generosity sent this to me. And I just don't even have words for how excited I am to have this beauty in my hands. It is absolutely lovely. I'm just going to gush. Just be prepared for lots of gushing. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to gush. And if something like this will trigger you to want to go to eBay and spend hundreds of dollars on an out-of-print copy, just pause. Just come with me for a little journey through the cards and let that be the thing that scratches your itch for now, unless you really, really want to spend that kind of money. Because the reason I never purchased it is because it does go for such incredibly high prices. I have yet to really pay an out-of-print, the current kind of out-of-print prices for an out-of-print deck. I think I've bought two out-of-print decks so far. Neither cost me more than $100. I don't fault people who do. It's not something that I have a hard time doing it, because I feel like I would have a feeling if I spent crazy amounts of money on an out-of-print deck, what would be to me a crazy amount of money on an out-of-print deck, and then it like got reprinted like right after that. I would just be gutted. So it's really hard for me to do that. And so I just had really relegated this deck to a deck that just was not meant to be for me. And that's okay. But this came into my hands and it was just the most beautiful, meaningful thing ever. Anyways, I said it was going to be gushing. You were warned. So yeah. Let's get on with more gushing. So I'm not going to go on about cardstock quality and stuff because it really doesn't matter. I am going to mention it. It's a nice two-piece box, but I'm not going to go into detail. The person who sent this to me sent it with a little piece of quartz, which of course I've been keeping with the deck, which I think that was just a really lovely touch. These cards are glossy. There is a little like introduction card, which I'm just going to set off to the side, and a little booklet, which I'm also going to set off to the side. I'm so gushy. Oh my gosh, I can't even finish a sentence. I'm ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. Okay, anyways, okay. We can do this. Anyways, these are the backs. So beautiful. I love backings like this. Just really elegant and like, look at how lovely. There's like the deep, I wanted to say deep chocolate brown, but I do think it is a black with like a rusty colored design on the back. And these cards are in such perfect condition. I mean, I can't. I am going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to pull out the little guidebook and we're going to do this. We're going to do this thing and just see. I'm going to share with you as we go through. We're going to consider this a tour of the Tarot of Delphi, because I'm going to refer to the guidebook throughout, because I think that's going to be the most fun for me. And for those of you who just want to know what the deal is with this deck, like what is in each image and like what it stands for. I'm not going to read the entire guidebook in its entirety because I don't think that's entirely fair, but I'm going to mention the title of each painting that is here, because I think that's what we see on in the guidebook here is the name of the painting. And maybe who's in the card if it says. Yeah, okay. I might end up reading more than I intend, and I hope that that's okay, but I really want to share this with everybody who hasn't been able to get it, or like just wants to know about it without, you know, maybe wanting to spend hundreds of dollars to get their hands on it. So okay, I can't even put words together. We're beginning with the Fool. And this is Orpheus Returning from the Shades, 1885 by Sir William Blake Richmond. Orpheus emerges unsuccessful and howling from the underworld. That is what we're seeing in this image. And it's interesting because it's definitely tying it in. Orpheus's trip to and from the underworld and beyond is the Fool's journey. And Hildy goes on from here, but it is that, yeah, beautiful. the detail in the artwork, obviously this is a curated deck, which means it is being pulled from, the artwork here is being pulled from from pieces of art. So there's an art history element to this, and I'm an art history like dunce. Like, I don't know anything about art history, so I'm going to take it at face value based on what the guidebook says. I just think it's absolutely beautiful, and it just feels like a moment in time. Okay, I said I was going to gush. There's just going to be lots of gushing. Just stay with me for the gushing if you feel like you want to watch a lot of gushing. If that's going to be annoying to you, I totally get it. You don't have to watch the whole thing. All right. Our magician, this is Medea, 1868, Anthony Frederick Sandys. So Medea was a rare woman who lived like a classic Greek hero, traveling widely, facing mythic challenges, winning and losing kingdoms, and steering her own fortunes. And it goes in, and she's clearly working magic here, which is just incredible for this card. So good. The High Priestess, this is a really iconic card, and I think it's iconic specifically for the High Priestess for this reason, because this is the Oracle at Delphi, and I believe is that the name of the painting? Priestess of Delphi. This is the Priestess of Delphi at the Oracle of Delphi. How does that work? I don't know. We did a whole, like, Peggy did a whole video about this, but it's pretty great. The steam down here, the vapors was part of how she cast her fortunes and cast her oracles. She was an instrument of Apollo. It's a whole thing. Anyways, this is Priestess of Delphi, 1891 by John Collier. Apologies in advance for all the famous artist names who I'm definitely going to slaughter in this video. I apologize. I'm sorry, but it's going to happen. That is the High Priestess. Beautiful. I love this image. It is so High Priestess. This is the epitome of the High Priestess for me. It's just gorgeous. The Empress, Zenobia's Last Look on Palmyra, 1888 by Herbert Gustav Schmaltz. Bold, intelligent, authoritative Zenobia rebelled against the Roman Empire. Oh, so she was a badass. I love that. Again, I don't want to read the whole guidebook. I don't think that's fair, but I am going to try to give you little snippets of who we see here. This looks like Aphrodite. Roses of Youth. Oh, it does. Okay, sorry. I can't talk. The painting is Roses of Youth, ND, so no date, Henrietta Ray. And it says, roses, doves, myrtle, pearls, and naked perfection are emblems of Venus, goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, sex, seduction, and fertility. I think this is supposed to be Venus, maybe? Or maybe she's just using it as a reference to Venus, but this looks very Venus to me for sure. The Emperor, the painting is In the Time of Constantine, 1878, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. Constantine I is a philosopher king to some and a ruthless, ambitious despot, is that how you say that? To others. A brilliant military strategist, commander, and masterful politician. I'm going to stop there, but that is, I'm guessing who we're seeing in this card. I'm guessing right there. Looks like there's somebody and there's a dog doing tricks or something in front of him. Almost like he's being entertained. It's really interesting. Whew. The Hierophant. A sick child brought into the temple of Asclepius, 1877, John William Waterhouse. The funny thing is, I thought John William Waterhouse was actually the painter of the painting that the High Priestess is on. Just shows I know nothing about art history, as I mentioned. And Asclepion was a healing temple of Asclepius, god of medicine. When we are in crisis, we turn to authoritative sources, doctors, specialists, religious leaders, etc. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. You bring your child to somebody who knows what they're doing, right? Like if they're ill, that makes a lot of sense. Ooh, that's a pretty lovers. Cupid and Psyche. That's awesome. I love that. This is also Eros and Psyche. I think Eros is another name for Cupid, if I'm not mistaken. And it's interesting timing because I'm actually reading a novel at the moment that to me immediately brought to mind the story of Eros or Cupid and Psyche that I learned about actually working with the Mythic Tarot. So that's a perfect, I think, depiction of the lovers. I think it really, really works. Oh, what was the name of the painting? Sorry. Cupid and Psyche, 1890, Annie Louise Swinnerton. Okay, the Chariot. A Roman Triumph, 1838, Frank William Warwick Topham. The Triumph was a homecoming celebration for a Roman commander who oversaw an extraordinary military victory. And we're seeing that happening here, where he's kind of being paraded through the streets in this procedure, the ceremony, whatever you want to call it, called the Roman Triumph, or called the Triumph. That's perfect for the Chariot, which is very much about focusing on one's goals and accomplishing them. I love that. Strength is Circe, 1889, Wright Barker, a powerful sorceress. Circe was a fierce enemy and a loyal friend. This is such an incredible image for strength. And I think that's the thing about the Tarot of Delphi that excites me, because as you can tell, I'm not very well versed in art history or in history or geography. Look, guys, I like tarot, okay? That's what my brain holds information about. But I feel like these images can be taken at face value. Here we have a strong, powerful female figure surrounded by lions. I mean, it works. The images chosen work. So I don't feel like I need to know these details to work with this deck. And that's what I remembered from the first time I ever saw a flip through of the deck, is I was like, wow, I could work with that and this beautiful artwork without knowing anything about it. And that excites me because I feel like it's an opportunity to learn. Anyways, I'm going to stop gushing for a moment. Again, okay, maybe, we'll see. So the Hermit, I feel like this is the same guy, or it reminds me of a guy from one of Danny's cards from Mystic Masters. Although I think hers were older, but this is Vale, Farewell, 1913 by Arthur Hacker. No, I'm lying. I'm on the wrong page. I skipped a page. This is Diogenes, 1882, John William Waterhouse. With wit, a sharp tongue, and his deeds, the philosopher Diogenes antagonized elements of moral and intellectual hypocrisy in his society. Carried a lantern in daylight, saying he was looking for an honest person. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, I love that. Threads of Fate for our Wheel of Fortune. And here we have Roman courtship, circa 1900, Sir William Ernest Reynolds Stevens. The Fates of Morai, Roman Parse, were the spinners. Oh, does this have the Morai in it? Yes, so here she's, it looks like this is the one who cuts the thread. So the Morai were the ones where one of the Morai, there's three, or the Fates from Greek mythology. One of them would spin the thread of life, one would measure it, and one would cut it. And it looks like this thread is either just being cut or about to be cut. They symbolize unexpected fortunes, events that cannot be entirely controlled, welcome and otherwise. Really, really beautiful image there. This is another image that's so iconic to me. And this is another Waterhouse painting. For the Justice card, we have Circe offering the cup to Ulysses, 1891, John William Waterhouse. Circe is the law, the protector of her realm, and here she tests Odysseus with wand and potion, a game to strike a deal. Oof, and then it goes on from there. The one torn asunder for the Hanged Man. And there's somebody here in this pool. This is another Waterhouse. I think it's Waterhouse's imagery that so captivates me about this deck, to be honest. Nymphs finding the head of Orpheus, 1900, John William Waterhouse. Orpheus is a sacrificial figure symbolizing mythic transformation. And then it goes on about the story. It talks about the Dionysian Maenads. Oh my gosh, okay. Then we have Death, and here was the one I saw before, Vale, Farewell, 1913, Arthur Hacker. And Vale was a Roman for farewell. The Latin means be well or be healthy. Yeah, that's so cool. Temperance. This is so beautiful. Look at this garden and the rainbow. This is stunning. Gentle Spring, 1865, Anthony Frederick Sandys. Persephone appears here as goddess of spring, vegetation, and growth. Oh, this is Persephone. I love that so much. So beautiful. The Siren for the Devil. This is fantastic. You can tell she is a siren, mer creature. And this is the Fisherman and the Siren, 1856 to 1858, Lord Frederick Leighton. With their irresistible song, sirens lured seafarers into the rocks. Such a great and appropriate thing for the Temptation card, which is the Devil card in the tarot. The Shipwreck. This is, again, so apt for the Tower. And the Shipwreck, I can't talk. The Shipwreck. Cave of the Storm Nymphs, 1903, Sir Edward Poynter. When the ego is adrift or stubbornly pursuing an unwise course, nature forces surrender and re-evaluation. And it goes on from there. This is such a great photo for this. Photo painting. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm stumbling because I'm that excited. I'm like giddy. The Star. This is Night. No date. Edward Robert Hughes. And it talks about the meaning of the star card. I think this is lovely. Is this supposed to show us? Yeah, the primordial goddess Nyx, Roman Nox, brought night to the celestial arch with her dark veil. And it talks about night and facing the self. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then the moon, we have the vision of Endymion, 1913, Sir Edward Poynter. Moon goddess Selene. I mean, come on. These paintings were chosen with such care. It clearly was not, It clearly was not just the image that Hildy was drawn to. It was the meaning, like who was represented in the card. What did that signify? Like there was obviously great care taken in selecting these, which I think is why this deck is so appealing to so many people. It's just, it resonates on a deeper level because these paintings represent like really enormous figures from history, like or mythology, right? Like really strong archetypes for what they stand for. And here having the moon goddess Selene, representative of the moon, is so fantastic. I just love it. And for each entry in the guidebook, not only is it the name of the painting. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Come, let's go back here for a second. Not only is it the name of the painting and the art and the painter, and a little bit about what you see and who you see in the card, but there's also obviously a little bit more about what the card means, and then also some keywords to refer back to, which is really great. This is such a gorgeous image. I would totally hang this like on my wall. Obviously, this is like a famous painting from somebody. Flaming June, 1895, Lord Frederick Leighton. The cerulean waters have become liquid gold in the bright sun of the Ionian Sea. A woman enjoys the pleasure of the sunlight breeze and a peaceful veranda. Oh, the contentment in the card is so palpable. And here we have Judgment. Time, Death, and Judgment, 1886, George Frederick Watts. These allegorical figures could be Kronos, the god of time in youthful form, Macaria, the sad and peaceful goddess of sacred natural death, and Dike, Roman Justitia, goddess of moral justice and judgment. These deified concepts encourage ultimate honesty and self-reflection. I mean, come on. And the garden. I love that there's this circular frame around this card, and this is, of course, our world card. And this is the garden of the Hesperides, 1892, Lord Frederick Leighton. The Hesperides are the three nymphs of evening who dwell in the orchard of Hera, Roman Juno. The garden, located at the world's edge, symbolizes the actualization of perfection. And what is the world if not that sense of completion, of perfection, of things having come together exactly as they're meant to? Oh, stunning. Okay, whew, we made it through the majors, guys. Now it's time for the minor arcana. And here, are we going to still get just as much information? Why, yes, we are. That is awesome. Okay, let me just pull up a little closer here. So here we have our Ace of Wands, and this is Autumn Vintage Festival 1877, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. Blessing a new vintage, the woman wears the ivy leaf crown of a Maenad, a female follower of Dionysus, or Bacchus, god of wine and revelry. And it goes on from there. This is really stunning. She's literally holding a wand, and she's got that red dress and this like wildcat. Is that a fur or an actual cat? Wildcat. It's a fur. Very intense, like we would expect an Ace of Wands to be. Look at how she is like looking off into the distance, just like our Two of Wands would normally be doing. And here we have the Belvedere, 1913, John William Godward. I'm not going to go into all the details here. I'm just going to look at how the image to me represents the meaning of the card. Here in the Three of Wands, it looks like she's swinging a censer, and she's walking with goats here. You definitely get the idea of being on a journey. And this is The Goat Girl with No Date by Edith Ridley Corbett. The Four of Wands. On the road to the Temple of Ceres, a spring festival, 1879, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. Ceres, Greek Demeter, mother goddess of crops and harvests, is associated with loving relationships, a peaceful society, and agrarian bounty. So, of course, this idea of celebrating the bounty or the harvest would be an appropriate card for the Four of Wands, where we're really celebrating milestones. So perfect. The Five of Wands. Okay, this one I don't know very well, so let's see. Five of Wands, Battledore, 1868 to 1870, Albert Joseph Moore. Battledore and shuttlecock, racket and birdie, is the precursor to badminton. Oh, of course, and may have been played in ancient Greece. A badminton game. That makes so much sense because, of course, there's a competition in a game like that. Five of Wands. That makes perfect sense. In the Six of Wands, we have the Triumph of Titus, the Flavians, 1885, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. Titus, heir to the Roman Empire, is honored with a triumph. So we learned about triumphs in the Chariot card. So that is appropriate as well for the Six of Wands. That really, really works. The Seven of Wands. What is happening here? It looks almost like somebody's like coming for her. Like this person looks like they're about to attack her or something. Let's see. Penelope and the Suitors, 1900, Victor John Robertson. Penelope is a formidable opponent, beset by duplicitous suitors believing her husband, Odysseus, dead. She uses her cunning to protect her freedom. Love that. This is just giving me such a thirst for learning more about these characters and these archetypes, these stories. Here we have the Eight of Wands, Return of Persephone, of course, 1891, Lord Frederick Leighton. This myth tells us of searching, wandering, disclosures, and finally a flurry of messages and quick developments toward resolution. Oh my gosh. The Nine of Wands, look at her. Persephone, of course, she's holding the pomegranate. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Persephone is a dual goddess of spring renewal and winter's dormancy. After she was abducted by Hades, Pluto, she partook in the fruit of the underworld. This transgression required that she divide her time between upper and lower worlds. Here she survived the ordeal of descent, but longs for the life and vibrancy above. Oh, I mean, come on. The Ten of Wands, the Catapult, 1868, Sir Edward Poynter. Carthage, a dominant Mediterranean city-state, resisted the determined upstart Rome. Each strove for supremacy in a series of brutal wars spanning over 100 years. During the 2-year siege of the last campaign, Carthaginians armed every citizen, every home, preparing for a final stand. When the walls were finally breached, Roman soldiers fought house to house, destroying the entire city. So began the reign of Rome and the burden of sustaining imperium. So it was like a moment before all of this like burden would come crashing down on the people. Oh my goodness. So here we have the court. So we have devotee, artisan, hero, and enchantress. I don't know if that's in the right order, so we'll find out. Let's just see. So the devotee, artisan, hero, enchantress. Yep, that's the order that's in the book. Okay, so I'm guessing the devotee is like the page. So we have the priestess, 1895, John William Godward. A guard, serene yet alert, alluring yet forbidding, stands before golden doors. Goes on from there. There's talks about how there's a dangerous, difficult journey through the doors and into the labyrinth. So it talks about that. And she's a sentry protecting the flame of creativity or creative space. Here we have the Artisan of Wands, the Roman architect, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. Cannot stop thinking about his work, scratching the ground with a measuring stick. So he's like working and planning towards what it is he's doing. The Hero of Wands. Now this feels very like, it almost feels like, is the Artisan the, I'm so confused. I wonder if it says somewhere which one is meant to be the Knight. If anybody has this deck and like knows it really, really well, I'd love your feedback. The hero feels, at least this one, feels very knightish. The enchantress obviously feels very queenish. So, but I don't know if this is like maybe a more Thoth hierarchy where we have like prince, princess, knight, queen. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. Somebody tell me. Help. Okay, anyways, we have our Hero of Wands. This is Courteous Leaping into the Gulf, 1842, Benjamin Robert Hayden. A Roman legend tells of an abyss that opened into the city forum. Citizens tried to fill it with earth to no avail. Then an oracle counseled Rome to sacrifice its most precious possession. The young Marcus Curtius stepped forward, knowing what Rome valued most. Oh my goodness. He plunged into the pit. Oh my God, he sacrificed himself. Okay, so he really is a hero. Interesting. This enchantress is like super evocative. And this is Athenaeus, 1908, John William Godward. Indignant at being denied any inheritance from her family's estate, the plucky, suddenly impoverished Athenaeus sought justice in the imperial court. Interesting. So she was an empress. Interesting. Love that. Okay, so now we're into the cups. This totally looks like a Venus Aphrodite moment again. I wonder if it says, I'm going to just pause and see about the whole hierarchy thing, see if it's addressed here. So on the court cards, the situation is that the devotee is devotion to what the suit represents, which is very page energy to me. Ability to use the suit's qualities in productive ways is the artisan. So that's, again, more knight energy. The hero is energetic living expression of the suit. And the enchantress is conscious application of the suit for desired ends. So she's not trying to align it specifically with page, knight, queen, king. She's just kind of created her own hierarchy here. And I think I'm just going to try to not overthink which is the page, knight, and queen and just go with it. Like, I mean, an artisan is an artisan. A devotee is a devotee. I mean, I think those are really clear titles. So that works. Okay, sorry. Back to the cups. So the Ace of Cups is Venus at the Bath, 1901, John William Godward. That totally works. She's really beautiful. And definitely, I love that. I just love that. The Two of Cups. This is such a romantic scene. This is Wedded, 1882, Lord Frederick Leighton. In Rome, both partners had to agree to marriage. Families could refuse or bless a match, but they could not force it. Having choice empowered couples to find compatibility and attraction, and the family provided a buffer of reason, looking at a pair's long-term prospects and the things lovers might overlook. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. That's beautiful. The Three of Cups. This is Strigils and Sponges, 1879, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. More than affording health and hygiene through personal cleanliness, bathhouses were places to socialize, develop relationships, hear news about friends, learn of current events. That makes sense. Place to catch up. Works for the Three of Cups for sure. In the Four of Cups, we have an Oleander, 1882, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. Wistfully smelling a flowering sprig, a woman leans against a Pompeian red wall. Through the vestibule, a celebration is underway on the seaside terrace. So there's a party kind of happening, and she's in here. Seated under the blooming oleander, a beautiful yet toxic shrub, she doesn't seem to care. And it goes on from there. The Five of Cups. This is Captive Andromache, 1888, Lord Frederick Leighton. Andromache, a heartbroken survivor of the brutal Trojan War, is unable to enjoy the warmth of the sun. Shrouded in black, she mourns the loss of her family for the second time in her life. Oh, so real grieving happening while people are kind of living behind her. She's just like sad. Aww. The Six of Cups. Innocent Amusements, 1891, John William Godward. I mean, even the titles of these paintings in so many cases really speak to the meaning of the card, right? Here we have a woman pauses from household chores to entertain some visitors. They look honestly amused, yet uncomfortable, as if they're deliberately keeping the marble pool between them. Everything we see is through a filter. Oh. This is another Waterhouse painting, I'm quite sure. And I love this image. It's, again, so, so beautiful. Here we have the Seven of Cups, the Charmer, 1911, John William Waterhouse. This freshwater nymph or naiad is the patroness of a natural well in the deep forest. This is just, I mean, every choice made here just makes so much sense. Here we have the Eight of Cups, and she's looking back, and that gives me so many feels. This is Waiting to Cross. No date, Albert Joseph Moore. Three youths, sisters or friends, wait to cross a river. Whatever they're leaving or traveling toward, two look forward and one looks back. Oh, I mean, and again, it goes on from there. This is another Waterhouse, I'm sure of it. No, it's not. It's Leighton. Nine of Cups. Faticida, 1894, Lord Frederick Leighton. Faticida, also called Fauna or Fatua, is a goddess of nature, fecundity, prosperity, prophecy, and protection, particularly for women. Her mate Fawn complements these gifts for men. As a protector and prophetess, Faticida sees the future and points toward happiness. She's been called the favorable one, granting wishes and bestowing abundance. I mean, come on. It's so good. The Ten of Cups, all the family enjoying their time here. And this is Captive Andromache again. I feel like we had that one already. 1888, Lord Frederick Leighton. Sunlight shines on women waiting casually for access to a well and on a family enjoying a moment of repose. So good for the Ten of Cups. Here we have our Devotee of Cups, who's already there with their pot at the fountain. This is no date, Henry Ryland. Love that. The Artisan of Cups, looks like he's wine tasting. Am I reading that right? The Roman Wine Tasters, 1884, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. That's perfect for the Artisan of Cups. Much prefer the wine taster be in the Artisan of Cups over the Nine of Cups, I'm just saying. Here we have the Hero of Cups, and this is the Soldier of Marathon, no date, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. A soldier recounts the Battle of Marathon, did I read this already? During a well-earned reprieve. Grievously outnumbered, Greek soldiers called hoplites stood against invading Persian forces. And it goes on from there. So this makes sense. He's the hero of this battle. He's recounting his experience, shares reliable information and fascinating personal experiences. So it's more like he wants to share this with people that matter to him, right? I love this image so much. This is definitely Waterhouse. Enchantress of Cups, Circe Invidiosa, 1892, John William Waterhouse. Circe is regal yet wild. Overwhelmed by her pain, she poisons the sea. Okay, I didn't know she was poisoning the sea in this image. Thoughts on that? To destroy her opponent. Powerful emotion is difficult to contain. We may feel a compulsion to release it on the world or imprecate the object of our contempt lest it destroy us from within. Yet when Circe releases her rage, she is blamed throughout history. She may have been wronged, but as soon as she lashes out, no one remembers the original crime. Oh, Circe exemplifies the power and danger of raw, unleashed emotion. Okay, hands up in the comments if you've read the book Circe. Do I need to read that? This is what this is making me think of. I had no idea. I don't know anything about Circe, but this is fascinating to me. Anyways, Ace of Swords. I think this is the Emperor in another deck that reminds me of the Tarot of Delphi, Sacred Rebellion or Beautiful Rebellion Tarot or something like that. I feel like this was the Empress card for that, or Emperor card for that deck. I think it's called Beautiful Rebellion. Anyways, the Ace of Swords is Cleopatra, 1887, John William Waterhouse. The Pharaoh Cleopatra was a master of statecraft, intrigue, warfare, and seduction, which does make her a good Ace of Swords. She's a strategist. She's willing to do what she needs to do. Love that. The Two of Swords here in front of water. This is such a classic Two of Swords type image, and this says the Tragic Poetess, 1890, Lord Frederick Leighton. Love that. This Three of Swords, she looks a little dramatic, but I mean, this is a painting, and that's how things go. This is Electra at the tomb of Agamemnon, 1868 to 1869, Lord Frederick Leighton. An heiress of tragedy, Electra is a paragon of overwhelming sorrow and heartbreak, the kind that seem impossible to endure. Oh my goodness, and she's at her father's tomb. Here we have the Four of Swords, midday slumbers. She's pulling back a curtain on somebody here who is having a little nap. That is perfect for the Four of Swords. The painting is 1888, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema, again called Midday Slumbers. The Five of Swords, this is from Clytemnestra, 1892, John Collier. When her husband, Agamemnon, returned victorious from the Trojan War, Clytemnestra killed him. Oh, there's some betrayal happening there, for sure. More on that in the guidebook here. Six of Swords, we have a ship, things are happening, they're moving. Are these the sirens? What's happening? This is Ulysses and the Sirens, 1909, Herbert James Draper. On the council of the sorceress Circe, there's a lot of Circe in this deck, right? Odysseus poured wax in the ears of his crewmen, who in turn bound him to the mast. Oh my goodness. As they sailed past the exquisite, enticing music of the sirens, oh, Odysseus alone could hear. That is how they got through, is they put wax in. I get it now. So they had to be ferried through by somebody who had wax in his ears so he wouldn't be tempted by the sirens and like thrown onto the rocks. That's brilliant, actually, for the Six of Swords. The Seven of Swords, she is running and half naked. What is happening? Diana's Maidens, 1898, Edward Robert Hughes. Woodland and mountain nymphs were companions to the huntress goddess Artemis. Like her, the nymphs were virgins and ran free in wild places. They were tricksters, lovers of mischievous fun, and of course, in the Seven of Swords, we want to see a trickster. That works. The Eight of Swords, we have Andromeda, 1869, Sir Edward Poynter. Shackled to a rock on the edge of a troubled sea, Andromeda faces her end, a sacrifice to appease the angry gods. Really beautiful imagery in this. The Nine of Swords, this is Faithful Unto Death, 1865, Sir Edward Poynter. The Nine of Swords is definitely a card about fear, and this says a sentry stands at a gate to the city of Pompeii, protected by the arched roof of the narrow portal. Behind him, residents are pelted by flaming debris as they flee. The guard anxiously watches the sky. Time seems to have collapsed. Too bright for night, too dark for day. Oh, it goes on from there. Again, really captures the fear of the moment. And the Ten of Swords, usually a pretty brutal card. We have the Lament for Icarus, 1898, Herbert James Draper. Because of his knowledge, the brilliant craftsman Daedalus was imprisoned with his son Icarus on an island by an angry king. I know this story. To escape, Daedalus made wings of feathers and wax. He warned Icarus not to fly too high toward the sun, nor too low near the sea, but to aim for a rational and reasonable course between extremes. Alas, Icarus's excitement overpowered his judgment, and he soared too close to the sun. His wings melted, and he plunged to the sea. I actually learned that story reading Percy Jackson series, which is a middle grade series, but it's incredibly memorable to me because of that. The Devotee of Swords. So here we have somebody really committed to the energy of their suit, and we have the Pyrrhic Dance, 1869, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. A Spartan soldier performs in a martial exercise before his compatriots. In the Artisan of Swords, we have the Armor Shop in Ancient Rome, 1866, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. An armor advises client on a gladius, a Roman short sword for close combat. So he's the artisan. He's literally a swordsman. He makes swords. I think that's so brilliant for this card. We have the Hero of the Swords, and this is going to be a silent greeting, 1889, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. This Roman soldier uses his intellect and skills to protect loved ones and preserve a meaningful way of life. Here we see the tender side of the hero, his masculine qualities expressed in a gesture of caring and dedication. I love that. Taking care of his loved one here. Love this. Instead of the Waterhouse, isn't it? Nope, it's Leighton. Enchantress of Swords, Sybil. No date, Lord Frederick Leighton. Sibyls were women with profound prophetic abilities. Their words guided the fates of celebrated heroes and entire peoples. Love that. And this is, of course, our Queen of Swords. Or King of Swords. I'm not sure how that works. Anyways, I said I was going to let it go, but I haven't let it go, clearly. Okay, moving along. Here we have the Ace of Coins. This is so beautiful. It's so like connected to nature. I love this so much. It seems more about earth than money, which I really appreciate. And here we have a Hamadryad, 1893, John Williams Waterhouse. Dryads and Hamadryads are tree nymphs, those they inhabit vines too. Nature spirits that are inseparable from the plant. When the tree grows, dies, thrives, or flowers, so does the nymph. They are interconnected to both the fragility and vibrancy of nature. I mean, that is such a beautiful symbol for the Ace of Coins. For the Two of Coins, we have a juggler here, the antique juggling girl. No date, Lord Frederick Leighton. I mean, come on, that's perfect for the Two of Coins. In the Three of Coins, we have somebody sculpting a statue, a head here, and this is Roman sculptors above, 1877, and Phidias showing the frieze of the Parthenon in his friends below, 1868, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. So there's actually two paintings here. Above we have the sculptors, and below we have this painting being shown, and both really show the collaborative art process, right, which is really cool. Oops, Four of Coins. Here in the Four of Coins, we have Echo and Narcissus, 1903, John William Waterhouse. Narcissus illustrates the consequence of hoarding something. He gazes longingly at his own reflection and, unable to look away, slowly deteriorates. That is the story of Narcissus. That's a really good story for the Four of Coins and kind of holding too tightly to something for sure. The Five of Coins, A Winter's Morning, 1900, John William Godward. Again, so perfect for the Five of Coins. I mean, the door is open behind her. Here we have the Six of Coins, The Women of Amphissa, 1887, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. After celebrating rhapsodic Dionysian rites in the wilderness, a band of Maenads, Roman bacchantes from the city of Phocis, lost their way in the dark, collapsing exhausted in the marketplace of neighboring Amphissa. The men of the two cities, however, were at war, so the women stood vigil over the Phocians throughout the night, shielding them from local soldiers. Basically, they took care of one another, essentially, because the men were off doing what they needed to do. So there was mutual care given here to make sure that they all were okay, which is exactly what the Six of Coins is really about. The Seven of Coins, this is such a Seven of Coins card to me. This artwork, again, is such excellent curation done here. Ionian Dancing Girl, 1902, John William Godward. A resting dancer crowned with violets surveys the scene with confidence and disinterest. A leopard fur hangs over the marble wall, a symbol of wild enthusiasm. In the Ace of Wands, here it is set aside. Comfortable in her body, the woman may enjoy dancing, but be weary of doing what she loves for money. Still, her work has paid off, and it goes on from there. Wow. Eight of Coins. Etruscan vase painters, 1871. Oh, sorry. Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. So they're painting vases. Eight of Coins. I mean, again, it's so perfect. She's like surveying her work. She's kind of getting a distance from it to see what it looks like so she can continue to refine it. That is the Eight of Wands. Or Eight of Coins, sorry. The Nine of Coins is the garden door. C. 1901, John William Godward. A woman leans comfortably in a doorway. Wealthy Greco-Roman homes had courtyards with flowers, vegetable gardens, altars, statues, mosaics, fountains, and fish ponds. And it goes on from there. So she has earned like her space. She's in a place of comfort and abundance. Our Ten of Coins, A Corner of the Marketplace, 1887, Sir Edward Poynter. A woman and her children sit contentedly in a marketplace, weaving a ribbon into a wreath. The daughter prepares goods for sale, so both watch the happy baby. It just talks about like they're taking care of life. This is very much about like everyday wholeness, right? Here we have the Devotee of Coins. It looks like she's maybe arranging flowers. An Offering to Venus, 1912, John William Godward. A young woman arranges roses beneath a small statue of Venus. I mean, that's perfect for the suit of Earth and being devoted to that suit. Here we have our Artisan of Earth, of Coins, and we have the Roman Potter, 1884, Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. The humble potter produces a great amount of extant information about the ancient world. It talks about, so basically this is the potter. He's carrying his pottery, he's doing his work. He's the Artisan of Earth. And potters are such a great symbol of an artisan of the earthly element. Here we have the Hero of Coins, and this is Hercules wrestling with death for the body of Alcestis, 1869 to 1871, Lord Frederick Leighton. In this scene, Heracles, Roman Hercules, is the quintessential hero exerting himself to protect others. His vigor is so intense that he defies Thanatos, Mors, wrestling the god of death to prevent him from taking a life. So there's an actual battle happening here, and that is Heracles being the hero. And then we have, of course, our Enchantress of Coins, which is Invocation, 1889, Lord Frederick Leighton. Holy days in the ancient world celebrated all aspects of life, the seasons and embodiment. At this daybreak offering, grapes and foliage overflow the altar, representing simple sustenance as well as the sumptuous pleasure of earth's bounty. The stately woman lifting her veil is not praying, she's invoking. This is a summons, not a plea. Hers is the spiritual practice of enjoyment and celebration of abundance and certainty. Oh my goodness. And then there's some information here in the guidebook about using the tarot. There is a spread as well as image credits for all of the paintings that were referenced in this creation. A thank you for, I'm assuming, the original Kickstarters. Yeah. These and other Kickstarter backers made the publication possible. Wowza. Let me zoom out for a moment. So there was a reference to an alternate Empress card. Oh, there they are. I didn't notice it at the time. I literally was so engrossed in the deck that I was like, did I see 2 Empresses? There sure are 2 Empresses. So I don't know if I flubbed that when I was talking through it, but maybe I didn't even really notice because I was just in every painting. But these are both 2 Empresses. And one is very like fierce and warrior-like, right? This was Circe? I can't remember now. I think it was Circe. No, that was Zenobia. Yeah, this was Zenobia. So she feels very strong, right? And this Empress feels very sensual and soft. So you could work with either or both. I think I'm going to keep the Venus one in because I just love her, although I really like this Empress card too. But I'm going to keep these in the box behind the guidebook for now, just so that I don't accidentally mix double Empress energy into the deck because I just don't want to. But, so that is the, wow, I just flipped cards. Okay, so this has been going on for a long time, this video, because I've just been sinking into all of the imagery. What I'm going to do now is give us a couple of shuffles, and I'm going to pull a few cards and do just a quick intuitive read. Just see how it reads, because, yeah, I think I'm starting to do that with my walkthroughs. I don't know if I'll do it with every single one, but I'm kind of doing a bit of a tarot by the book kind of moment here. Oh, we have a jumper. 2 of coins. Oh, boy. Okay, let's give her a shuffle. Shuffling this deck just feels so surreal to me. Okay. I want to get a nice smooth riffle here. It's clumping on me a bit and I don't know what's going on there. Let's try this way. Let's do another one of those, little drop shuffle. All right, let's see, energy, day ahead or week ahead, obstacle, and advice. So let's bring these down and away from the ring light a bit. So the Enchantress of Coins, this is sort of the mistress of her suit. And energy, Enchantress of Coins is going to be somebody who is very connected to Earth, aware of what it is that she has accomplished, but also what she can do within the realm of her element. There's a certain amount of, I can take care of my people here. And I feel like as far as energy, this really speaks to like really being able to look after the people in your life that matter to you. And then we move into temperance as an obstacle, and it could be a reminder to keep balance. Like, don't be so into taking care of everybody else, making sure they're good, that you're neglecting your own needs. Like, it has to all be in flow, right? Give and take in equal measure. And finally, for advice, we have the Artisan of Wands. This is somebody who is not afraid to continue to kind of go back to the drawing board and do the work, right? Here we have somebody who is going to continue to come up with ideas and workshop how to do things differently. And I think that's going to be really helpful for somebody who's really focused on taking care of people in their lives. How can you do things differently so that you too are also nourished? I just also noticed, interestingly, this symbol in the very back of this card, and it looks like the alchemical symbol for fire, but there's a little circle there. If anybody knows what that means, I'd be super curious. But at first glance, it looked like the alchemical symbol for fire was in the back of this card. But anyways, I digress. This is definitely a deck that I'm going to treasure, and I feel like it has a lot to teach me. I think it would be really fun to work with this deck and the Majestic Earth Tarot side by side. But this is a deck I'm definitely going to, oh, I love that painting. This is definitely one where I feel like I could just literally hold it and like flip through it and look at the artwork and just appreciate it. But I also feel like I want to be able to read with it. So I'm going to spend some time getting to know it and working with it a bit. I do feel like the artwork really evokes the meaning of the card in a really effective way. But more than that, the little snippets in the guidebook, I think, just offer more information and more of a take on what the creator of this deck really saw in each image to boost the meaning of the card in such a meaningful way. And I love this so, so much. So let's give her a little fan. And I've already picked out a Peggy bag for it. And let's see. There we go. A little clumpy, I don't care. This, my friends, is the Tarot of Delphi by J.D. Hildegard Hinkle. Thank you so, so much for joining me for this gushy, like, stroll through this deck. I know it's hard to find. I know it's out of print. but keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we will get a reprint in the future. I think that would be really special if we did. But for now, that is all I have for you. Please do click the like button if you enjoyed this gushy deep dive walkthrough of the Tarot of Delphi. Please do subscribe if you're new here, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you're notified of all my future videos. Thank you again so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.